yourself intact for just a little while. And we have nothing to fear, my dear, just hold my hand for a little while.
All right, thank you so much for joining us with a special Friday morning edition of Lunch Out Loud Ottawa. My name is Nick Vichewski.
And I'm Andrew Miller.
So the band you just heard there was Hearts and Minds. They're playing Blues Fest on Sunday, July 7th. I think they're opening up for Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah,
Nice.
I see the similarities there.
That should be a packed house.
I'm also playing them this week because tonight they're playing at Mavericks with Junkie and Spider. On March 16th, you can see Hearts and Minds at Mavericks again in support of CHUO's funding drive. So that's always good. And in June, they're performing at CFB Petawawa at their first music festival. So that's going to be really interesting to see them at the base there. Matt Luloff, actually one of the lead singers, is a veteran of the war of Afghanistan. So anything he can do to liven up the situation and the crowds there, that's excellent. So anyways, we're here with Yasir Naqvi. He was first elected to the Legislative Assembly of Ontario in October 2007. He was originally born in Pakistan and came to Ottawa, or came to Canada in 1988. So very interesting stories that we hope to hear. So thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, so first off, when did you first arrive in Ottawa?
So I came to Ottawa in August of 1996, and the reason I came was to attend law school, and found a small apartment up in Sandy Hill,
Nice.
close to school, walking distance, and it was second year that I was living here in Ottawa. I just absolutely fell in love with the city. And
What did you fall in love with? What was the
you know,
process?
I love the size of the city. I've always loved
Mhm.
the size of the city. It's a good sized city, but it's not too large, which for me is just a great bonus. And the outdoor life, the canal, the Byward Market, the downtown, all that really has been fascinating.
It was
to
all
me.
walking distance for
It's
you.
all walking distance. It's engaging. You can talk to people. It's I call it 2 degrees of separation in Ottawa.
Yeah.
It's a great networking town. You really can build, for young people especially, you can really build a good business, a good network, whatever you're interested in. I did. I didn't know anybody when I came to the city, and I'm very privileged to be a representative today. Living
Wow,
here 16 years.
Yeah.
That's the kind of city it is. It's very welcoming, and it's one of those cities where you give 1 bit, it'll give you 3 bit back.
Yeah, absolutely. Any local hangouts that you liked in the first year of law school or second year of law school?
Well, so all through law school, and all the areas around school was the sort of key area. We always used to go to the market because it was walking distance and stuff. I was primarily focused in school.
Okay. Good to hear.
I partied hard in undergrad, so
There you
And
go.
that was in Hamilton?
in Hamilton, like McMaster University.
Okay.
But then I moved. Centertown, and I lived in Centertown for a long time. And one of the places I still hang around a fair bit with my friends is Clock Tower in the Glebe
Yeah.
on Bank Street. This is one of my favorite little joints.
Excellent patio.
Yeah. a
Yeah,
lot, too.
great patio, good food,
Local.
local beer, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they brew it on site, and the guys who own it, run it, are just good community people.
And any extra activities that you like aside from the canal and the downtown? Any kind of hidden gems that you like to partake in that?
So it's
some people don't
funny
know?
because given that I represent Ottawa Centre, which I think is the coolest part of town,
Yeah, absolutely.
I do everything in my riding. I go to restaurants in my riding. I do all the fun stuff here. So there's all kinds of things buried. So I don't know if you know, there's a tiny little awesome Cuban restaurant, for example,
Havana.
in Old Ottawa South, right?
Yeah, Havana.
La Havana. Great little place. It's small shop front. Not many people people know about it. Then you've got what do you've got? You've got awesome cinnamon buns at Baker Street in Westboro. Like their cinnamon buns are to die for. Then you've got Newport Restaurant, which is a diner par excellence, and it's a great tradition in the city. So you've got all these little things, and that's just in the eating department, which are happening in this part of the city, which really gets me excited.
Where did you bring the premiere when she was here a couple weeks ago? Or was that
Yeah,
last
so
week?
when she was here last week, and she did a couple of things. One was we visited a really awesome mid-sized Ottawa business called Ross Video, and it's not a video store. It's a business actually develops technology around broadcasting equipment. So you've got CNN and ABC and other large TV organizations that are using their equipment. BBC is using
Really?
their equipment, and it's all built and manufactured here out of Ottawa, and R&D as well. And their manufacturing facilities in Iroquois, Ontario, which is also Eastern Ontario. Privately owned family business. They employ about 400 people. So it was really good to sort of visit them, tour them. They're in all kinds of the big sporting arenas because they do all the control panels for the big jumbotrons that we see in hockey arenas or football stadiums and
Wow.
stuff like that. This is an Ottawa company.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting.
we took premiere there, and we did a jobs roundtable with various Ottawa businesses, and got a tour of Ross Video, and then we came to City Hall, where the premier and the mayor signed the contract for the building of the LRT,
That's right.
which is a huge project about to start in a couple of months.
Yeah, that's going to be a great project. I actually had a big conference yesterday. It was CMHC. And one thing I didn't know is that they're actually building all of the trains here in Ottawa as well. So the light rail itself is expected to create some 20,000 jobs here in town. Which
It's going to be amazing, and they're not only construction jobs. There's manufacturing jobs, and then there's long-term maintenance jobs, because obviously we need people to maintain the whole system, to operate the system, to maintain the system, to service the trains and everything. So this is by far probably one of the largest public works, what I call a city building project that we're doing in city. It's really bringing our nation's capital into 21st century, and I think this is going to be fantastic for the future growth of Ottawa.
And we are expanding quite rapidly. I know it's the stats that we talked about. It's somewhere between 5,000 to 6,000 new immigrants to Ottawa a year, which I've always found is amazing. And I mean, with all those people, obviously, I think we're creeping up now. I don't know if we're at 1 million yet, population-wise.
No,
but
it's
I know
close
we're
to about 900,000.
Yeah, but we're getting there, and I mean, once we hit that point,
But consider the whole region, right? Look at the whole Outaouais region, or the National Capital Region, and I mean,
with Gatineau
and everything, and the surrounding areas on Ontario side, it's over 1 million people.
Yeah.
And when I speak to newcomers to Ottawa, be it they're from other parts of Canada or new to Canada, the highest, I always ask, why Ottawa? And quality of life is on the top of the list.
Yeah, safety, quality of life, and those are.
Safety.
It is, like you said, it's more of a big town feel here. It doesn't feel like a big city, and it's not. There's not a lot of attitude when you're walking around.
Yeah, it's got a
It feels real
very
nice.
neat culture.
Yeah. How old were you when you moved from Pakistan?
I was
Ontario?
I was 15. I was 15 years old. So when we moved to Niagara Falls, I started obviously went straight into high school.
Yeah.
And
What were your thoughts on that? How was that transition? That must have been.
yeah, so I mean it's a big difference, right? But that's an age where it's fairly easy to integrate as well.
You were probably quite excited about it at that age, I'm assuming.
Yes and no. 15 is the age. I mean, when we were living in Pakistan, I had my circle of friends. I was quite social
That's true.
there as well. So I remember saying to my parents, "Well, what did I do wrong to you? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, why are we doing this?" And I remember mom and dad saying, "Trust me, you'll fit in. You'll be fine." And lo and behold, probably the first 6 months was a period of adjustment, but being in a small town and a high school, I think helped as well, because it's everything. Everybody's very close, and you've got that close knit community feel to it. And my sister and I, we made friends right away. Teachers were extremely helpful. They were really sort of went out of the way to help us integrate and adjust. We obviously we had functional English, but it was not as fluent as today, or the vocabulary was limited. But you're like a sponge at that age, so that was not an issue. And never looked back. It's been awesome.
That's good. Have you been convincing many other friends and family? Then you said you had a pretty tight circle of friends back then. Have you convinced any of them to move?
Yeah,
over to Canada since?
quite a few
Really?
friends. Like quite a few of my buddies who I went to school with have immigrated. I mean, on their
That's
own
good.
accord,
Yeah.
to Canada and living good lives.
Living in
some-
Ottawa? Did they follow you to Ottawa?
No, actually, good point. No.
You got some more convincing
Damn
to do.
Toronto. Yeah, but family members. I just have a cousin who immigrated literally 2 weeks ago to
Oh, wow.
to Ontario from Pakistan with his very young family. So it's I guess you lead the way and people see that
Well, that's it.
how good of a life you're living, and my family, my parents, my siblings. I don't think we ever stop talking about Canada, how great this country is. So I think when people see this and hear this, go, oh wow, look at the
We made the right
opportunities they were
decision,
they were able to have. This
Mhm.
is a country where I always say if you educate yourself, you work hard. There's just no denying opportunities.
Absolutely, I agree.
And you're going to, as Minister of Labour, you're going to help promote that going forward in the future.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're just going to go into a quick little break and listen to one more song from Hearts and Minds, and then so we've heard from Yasir Naqvi, the person. We're going to hear about a little more about Yasir Naqvi, the politician, and upcoming things coming to Ontario and Ottawa. So we'll see you in just one moment.
Here we are, and when they opened up, you panicked on me now. Well, you panicked on me. How am I supposed to know what is real and what's for show? How am I supposed to know what is real and just breathe? Just breathe. The oxygen is just what you need. Breathe. Just breathe. The oxygen is just what you need. That's what
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here with Yasir Naqvi, the newly appointed Minister of Labour. So it's been just 3 days shy of a month now, correct?
Oh, you're counting days.
Yeah. I checked before I came here. So how's it been going?
It's been great. So it's been a lot of learning. Of course, a new ministry, new portfolio. So there's a lot of information to take in. Excellent folks at the ministry within the department who've been working hard to get me up to speed. And now obviously I'm starting to get into issues. I had the opportunity earlier this week to table my first bill as a minister, as part of the Ministry of Labour, and that is to create a new family caregiver leave and a leave for parents who may be looking after a critically ill child.
Okay.
So something that families been asking for some time, and especially organizations like Canadian Cancer Society or Parkinson's Society, they've been asking for some time. And a mechanism by which people can stay home and look after their loved ones, their parents or their elders, if they are, fighting cancer or some other illness, but do so in a way that their jobs are protected. And that's what the legislation that I put forward will help to do if it's passed.
That's really good. I actually know some friends personally, and they've had to struggle with that as well. And I know it's quite a challenge, when someone that you love is sick, and then somebody has to stick around and take care of them. Like you said, at that point, the sick person, obviously, they're not working, and then somebody has to take care of them so they can't work. And then, it's kind of a snowball effect, and, it really affects life a lot.
And without the help.
Yeah, exactly. So you've had
stress.
quite a bit of experience with different ministries. You want to talk about a couple of other places that you've worked at?
Yeah, absolutely.
Leading up to this.
Since I've been elected, I've been very privileged to be put into some really interesting places which help me learn about how government works and the potential of government. So
Do they choose that for you, or do you get to select them? And how does it work when you first get newly elected as a rookie parliamentary official? do they come to you and go, what would you like to specialize in, or do they have it kind of preconceived what they're going to go with?
I think there's a little bit of both that happens. But I mean, obviously, your background does help shape the views of decision makers. But in the end of the day, it's a decision of the premier. It's her sole discretion as to where she puts people. So it's like getting a promotion, and you don't get to choose what you're gonna do, right? You get a call and you say yes, and you go to it. So first, I was asked to be a parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services. Coming from a downtown community, I worked a lot on community safety issues, so that was a really good fit in to see how I can help enhance that in my community. Then I moved to the Ministry of Revenue, where I worked with the minister there. This is the time when HST was being brought in.
I must have been busy then.
So it was really busy. I was there for a year, and part of my job, along with the minister, was to go out there across the province and talk to people and make them understand what HST is and how it's going to impact their life, both from a business point of view and as a consumer. So we talked, we did that. So that was a really good experience. It really allowed me to travel the province and got to see the province and talk about how we are modernizing our economy to make it more competitive, especially as we were fighting through the recession in 2008 onwards. Then I went to Ministry of Education and did a fair bit of work there. And after that, most recently, I was parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Finance, and I sat on the Treasury Board. That was a very fascinating place because this is sort of the nerve center of the government where all the financial decisions are made as to how much money is coming in through tax revenues, how much you spend, and how you spend it, putting together a budget for a government. So you're looking at an organization which has a budget of $124 billion. The whole priorities and how do you manage expectations, especially in these tough economic times when the province have a significant deficit as well. We're borrowing money to pay for services. We have to rein that in like we all do in our normal lives. So that going through that process was extremely helpful. So I think at every successive level, I was given jobs that helped me prepare to do what I'm doing today now as a minister, when you are pretty much making decisions and responsible for a fairly large organization.
Yeah, you're coming at a pretty tough time with the transition of premiers. The Conservative government's really pushing, fighting back with a lot of things. So you're trying to reduce the deficit, but keep bringing in jobs to the province. So you have quite the hard schedule ahead for yourself. Where are you? Where are the focuses right now on bringing in jobs and?
Yeah, I mean, this is a big thing right now. The economy is still extremely unstable. Look at what happened.
Especially in Ontario, and you want to prevent our students from the universities here. Because lately I've been talking to a lot of university students. A lot of them are looking to Alberta to move to get jobs, and to BC. And Ontario is kind of a second fiddle for them now. So
yeah, and I mean, we need to make sure that we have a robust economy and we're creating those jobs. I mean, the February number, for example, just came out from Statistics Canada, and Ontario created over 31,000 new jobs. It's interesting because we have recovered all the jobs that were lost during the recession. We've recovered those, and in fact, we've created more jobs than what we had lost. So that's a good sign, but we need to continue to do more. It's still, there's quite a few people who are men and women who are unemployed, and we need to make sure that there are opportunities for them. So how do you do this? That's $1 million question. The one thing I always say, and let's be frank, governments don't create jobs. It's businesses that create jobs.
Demand creates
right?
a job. Yeah.
What government's job is to create the conditions of success. That we have a good quality of life, that we have good infrastructure, that we have good opportunities for businesses to grow, and if they're growing, they're going to employ more people and make more profit. That's the number one challenge. So what we need to do is we need to continue on ensuring that we have a competitive tax environment in our province, because it is a very competitive world out there. States in United States or other provinces, we all compete for those businesses to create meaningful employment and opportunities. So we need a competitive tax environment. We need good infrastructure, because that's what businesses want. We need good roads and highways. We need good public transit. So projects like LRT, as we're doing in Ottawa, is going to result in a significant boom. As you probably heard, City of Ottawa and Invest Ottawa is building a new innovation hub, which the province is funding for $15 million. It's being done at Bayview Yards.
Is that 100% confirmed that it is going to Bayview Yards?
Yes.
It is 100%
Yes.
confirmed?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason it's happening at Bayview Yards because there's public transit there, because O-Train and LRT will go through that, right?
And
that right there is already creating economic activity in a downtown core because of good infrastructure,
Yeah.
so it will be easy for people to access. The other thing is quality of life. Businesses want a place where they have good healthcare system, where there's good education system, because then that's that much less out-of-pocket cost to them. They are able to then rely on all these great state-run services that are provided. So we've done a lot in that respect. So I think there's a combination of these things will ensure that we have a strong economy that results in good jobs.
What are some other bills that you're looking to table now? I just learned that you are looking to enhance electronic real estate transactions, which in our industry is incredible, and we think it's such a common thing. Why hasn't it been done before? But like you said, it's just repealing, like you said earlier, it's just repealing one line of text from a law. And so can you tell us about how you push a bill to do that, and how long it takes to get done, and when we can look forward to real estate transactions being electronic signatures?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's an interesting process how bills come about, and really starting points is talking to people like you and I. I learned about that issue by talking to real estate folks in Ottawa. They're the one who came forward saying, you know what, Yasir, we've got this law going back to 2000, which allows for electronic signatures in all kinds of other contracts except for real estate. And it was interesting, and I thought, okay, let's look into it. The reason that exemption was put in back in 2000 because e-commerce was relatively new. People were not sure about technology.
Yeah.
There was an element of consumer protection there,
That's right.
which 13 years later, I think we are far more accustomed to doing business, to managing our affairs electronically. So actually, I teamed up, and I like to work with all parties because I think it's important. So I teamed up with the Conservative MPP Todd Smith, who comes from Prince Edward Hastings area, because he was interested in this as well. So he and I teamed up, and we drafted a
How did you meet up
bill.
with him about this? Did you just met him talking randomly?
Yeah,
in
it was
Ontario?
kind of, I was interested in it, and I was talking to folks, and he was interested, he was
You
talking
just
to
overheard
folks, and
something?
people
they-
said, you know what,
okay.
Yasir's been talking about this,
Okay.
and people told me Todd's been talking about it.
Oh, there
So,
you go.
Perfect.
you know,
It's always
instead
good
of
to get some backups.
But yeah, and instead of competing with each other, even though we come from two different political parties, we said, let's work together.
Yeah.
So we drafted a law together. We both put our names on it, and I tabled it. So the work is still going on. So what we're doing now is trying to convince the government to pick it on, and government is seriously looking at it because they do see that it's probably not needed.
So you
anymore.
are government. So who do you get into convince?
Well, so it's the responsible minister.
Okay.
That particular law falls under the Attorney General. So it's him and his office that needs to make the decision. So I'm an advocate, and so is Todd.
Okay.
And we're making sure that we're providing with all the information. The real estate industry has been fantastic over here. They have provided the information. So now we're working away, and what we'll call crossing the T's and dotting the I's, making sure that all the impacts have been considered before a final decision is made.
Any chance we can get this through before spring market?
You know what?
Save me some work.
Save us some work, 'cause,
I would love this to hopefully get done before the summer ends. So you can never guarantee these things because it is a minority legislature in Ontario, as you know. So government can come down any time, and we may get thrust into an election. But our hope is that something simple like this gets done sooner than later.
Excellent. So actually, can you just quickly update people about the electronic signatures and how they do it now?
Well, as of right now, pretty much you're stuck just signing like normal. You have to get witnesses. If you have to prove, say you're out of
On
town.
every single
single document.
and
So
every
it's
single
kind of-
negotiation, every single counter offer.
Exactly.
You're faxing back and forth, waiting for somebody, you're waiting for them to sign it.
Precisely, or
And
driving back and forth,
and-
which with gas these days that could be costly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're saving gas, saving the environment. Look at that there. Yes.
There's a green element to this.
Absolutely,
There is
there always
absolutely a green element. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us. It goes by so quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We learned quite a bit there. we just want to go over some events this weekend. Are you around in town this weekend?
I am around. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, we'll tell you.
It's Irish Heritage Week too.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, and we
Start
forgot
next
it's International Women's Day today.
Happy
International Women's Day.
There you go. To you and yours. So tonight on Friday, so we have that concert at Maverick to see Hearts and Minds. If you love those tunes, which I absolutely do. There's a fundraiser at Liquor Store. I've never understood the concept of naming that bar, but I don't name them. There's a fundraiser for the Canadian Obesity Network, so I'll be going to that one.
Where's that?
That's at Liquor Store.
Oh, okay.
On Sunday, you got the 4-in-1 acoustic session at Cafe Alt. So that's on campus. That's one of the new campus bars at University of Ottawa. So that's, I think there's 4 or 5 acoustic acts, and it's only $5 to see some great acoustic local Ottawa bands. So that's a great Sunday afternoon activity. There's tons of music everywhere. Pretty much every live location has some great Ottawa bands. There's a Tibetan Film Fest at St. Paul's, so that will be very interesting as well.
Oh, wow.
I don't think Brad Pitt's coming to this one.
No?
I think he's
Is
missing
there red
it.
carpet?
There might be a red card.
Very small one.
You got an urban craft show at the Glebe Community Center, so hopefully we see you there. Auntie Lou's putting up a pop-up vegan stand, so
Ooh, I gotta drop in.
that's going to be excellent. I can't wait to try that on Sunday. So I'll be going to that before going to the Cafe Alt on this Sunday. So anything else that you want
There you
to?
go. No, I don't think too much. I just know it's going to be a great weekend. It's supposed to be, sunny all weekend. And
Finally, so I think this
getting
is
close to double digits, but I think 8 degrees or so is what I heard. But
Spring is here.
spring is
It's
here.
coming.
Is this our first episode that sun has been out?
it's pretty close. We've been out for a couple of snowstorms, that's for sure.
That's absolutely. So next week we hope to have Jan from Normal Clothing that's downtown. They're opening up a new store in Westboro
Yeah.
very soon. So we hope to have them. So we'll be.
If not, I think we're going to have some of the guys from Absolute Comedy.
So it's
either
either
way,
one or
it'll be
two.
a great episode. So
Absolutely. So we'll leave you with one last song from Hearts and Minds. This is called Fast Times. It's from their Panic EP. And thank you very much, and see you next week.
take care.
How do you seem so insincere? I'm still sitting by the phone waiting to call you. Finally everything's so clear. With this gun in my hand everything seems so clear. With this gun in my hand everything seems so. And I don't mind if you're wasting all my time. And I don't mind if you're wasting. You can do what you want, what you want. 'Cause these fast times are coming hard. You can do what you want, what you want, what you want. 'Cause these fast times are coming hard. You can do what you want.